title for our webinar. So today we have Prof. Dr. Jawati Johari as our speaker, and the title is Blended Learning, Should We? Alright, so before we start, let me introduce a bit about our speaker. So Professor Dr. Jawati Johari received her PhD from Monash University and her in Melbourne in Governance and Development, and her first and second degrees in B.Ed TESOL and English Language Studies from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM. So she is currently the Director of Pusat Bahasa UPNM, and she teaches undergraduate students, and she also supervises postgraduate students. So her research interests include military pedagogy, higher education, and educational technology, focusing on language studies. Her topic today deals with blended learning and whether we as educators should venture into it. So she will be sharing also her own experience in one sub-model of blended learning, which is flipped classroom. So please feel free to ask her anything related to blended learning. Okay, so there she is, Prof. Dr. Jawati, welcome.
Thank you.
So without further ado, I would like to invite our speaker today, Prof. Dr. Jawati Johari, to share her knowledge with us. Okay, thank you, Prof.
Alright, thank you very much, Puan Emily. Inshallah, actually Dr. Emily, just waiting for the correction to be made. Alright, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Thank you very much for being here, and I know that all of us are quite busy, although it is the semester break for most of us, but we have activities such as today we have ICHIS in Everly Hotel Putrajaya, so most of us academics are there, so not a problem. Okay, somebody's trying to get in. No. Let's see. Okay, right. So basically, I will try my level best to do this within 30 minutes because I prefer to have discussions and questions so that we can share whatever experiences that we have. So basically, the title is very straightforward. Should we go for blended learning? So I know that most of us are very familiar with this term, but let's see how we fare in terms of implementing this blended learning. So if let's say you have questions, but you are maybe not sure whether you should ask now, you can always email me at jawati@upnm.edu.my. And as a little bit more of an introduction, I've been here since 2002, since ATMA, Academy Tentera Malaysia years. So I'm kind of old in this establishment. My ID number is 15, so 15. So you know how old I am. But that doesn't mean that I have more experience than what you have. So don't worry about it. We're just sharing. So let's begin, inshallah. I think all of you are able to see the slides. Am I right? Okay, yeah, okay, thank you. So okay, let's begin slowly. What is blended learning? I know that, as I said earlier, most of us are very familiar with this term. There's no right or wrong basically, but when you implement, there must be some sort of a concept and strategies in order to blend. So let me ask questions. What do we mean by blended learning? Okay, I have actually okay, we have here Encik Ahmad Fahimi. Encik Ahmad Fahimi, do we know each other? What a stupid question. I was just joking. Okay, Encik Ahmad Fahimi.
Yes, Prof. Yes. Yes, Prof.
Okay, what is blended learning in your opinion?
Blended learning for me, I think, is about blending in your materials,
okay,
whatever you have,
okay,
in an online environment.
Okay,
where
so,
you Yeah,
Okay,
I
so-
think that's the most simplistic definition that I can give right now.
Okay.
I was quite surprised by the question just now.
I think you can expect I'll be asking questions to you, but thank you very much. So what about, Encik Shafiq? How are you, Encik Shafiq? You are in Ireland. Wow, that's very far. Thank you very much. Encik Shafiq, if you can share with us, in your opinion, what is blended learning?
By the name,
Mhm.
blended, it probably refers to a mix of methods and materials
A mix of methods and materials.
and approaches.
Okay, and approaches. Okay, what else can we say about this? Let's see. Dr. Faizal, Dr. Faizal AKP. Dr. Faizal AKP. If you have an opinion about this, what is blended learning, Dr. Faizal? Dr. Faizal? Okay, never mind. We can go on to who else that we have here? I'm sorry if I do not know all of you, but once again, welcome to our session today. Perhaps we can invite, I think, Dr. Sharul Izwan. Dr. Sharul Izwan, what is blended learning in your opinion? Okay, never mind. What
Dia tak ada
about...
mic, Prof. Dia tak ada mic.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
I was asking just
No
now.
mic, not a problem. What about Cik Anis? Cik Wan Anis, what is blended learning? So we have a representative of foreign language here. Cik Wan Anis, in your opinion, what is blended learning? Okay, it's okay. Never mind. Maybe. Okay. Yes. Yes, Cik Wan Anis.
Mix between online and physical learning.
Online and physical learning. So we are going there now. So basically, what I have actually compiled here, not really compiled because there's only two. So if you look very carefully, this is one of the, I would say, understanding of blended learning. Blended learning enhances the educational experience but requires physical presence. So whatever that we do, if we say that we are blending, that means we must have the physical presence of our students. And of course, another understanding would be it is a way of learning that combines traditional classroom. So traditional classroom is where we have the face-to-face session, the physical presence. And then we have the lessons that can use computer technology, and this can be shared over the internet. So basically, that's the understanding that I want to share today about blended learning. So having that in mind, and with whatever that you have in your mind, not a problem. We can always actually blend everything together. Now, for today, the sharing session that we are going to have, first we are going to look at the overview, advantages, and of course when you talk about advantages, there will be disadvantages, and then should we? So this is the biggest question, should we venture into blended learning? And last but not least, closing remarks, and this is where I'm going to share what I did. I'm still doing it for the past 12 years. And so here, an overview. So when you are able to give some sort of ideas about what blended learning is, to some extent you are, or you must have actually blended your classroom teaching and learning. It's either you have the notes online, and then you have the activities, and then you have the activities online, and then you have the discussions face to face. So when you talk about blended learning per se, of course you have a concept, I want to use blended learning. How? The other question is how you actually blend. So this is where some opinions, suggestions just now. So you have materials, you blend the materials, or you blend the activities. So how is very critical when you think of blended learning. And then here is sharing about your best moments and worst moments blending your class. So I won't be asking to the same persons, inshallah. So we'll take someone else. If you have never blended, not a problem. It's okay. Just say that I use the normal approach to teaching, not a problem. For those who have blended, have experienced blending your classroom teaching and learning, so please share so that everybody today can benefit from this. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see. What about our chairperson herself? Yes. What about you, Puan Dr. Emily? Yes. So what's your best moment when you actually blend?
Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone.
Assalam.
Okay, good morning. Of my best moment of blending for my classroom, I would say the engagement that the students have when you incorporate technology. Yeah, they are more motivated because I believe that this generation, we cannot just use traditional type of learning. They need all this technology to be included. Yeah.
So that is the best moment when they actually participate, when they
Yes.
when they started to share ideas. Although
Yes.
the ideas can be silly at times, but that's the process of exploring. That's the place where you actually laugh and where you actually experience all this, and you wouldn't be able to find this outside of that classroom environment. Okay, can we try Ustazah Hidayati? What is your best moments when you blend your classroom teaching and learning? Let's see. Maybe she doesn't have a mic idea, not a problem. What about, let's see, what about Dr. Izzah, Dr. Nur Izzah binti Mokhtar? Dr. Nur Izzah? Wait, where is it? Okay, can't see the name anymore. Dr. Nur Izzah, have you ever tried blended learning in your classroom approach? Okay, never mind, let's swap. What about Puan Marziah? Have you ever tried blended learning?
Yes, Prof. I've tried blended learning before.
Okay.
For me, it's very beneficial for the students and the lecturers or the teachers, because we get to be creative in preparing the content, and then the students also get to be creative, whatever they don't say in class. And somehow if we incorporate this blended learning, they express themselves more, especially in writing. We do the pre-writing, the post-writing activities. Sometimes we include games.
Yeah.
So it's more interactive. We get to be creative, and then we can we have the autonomy to be flexible with our teaching materials.
Okay.
That's from me.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's
Thank you. What about worst moments when you blended? Let's say, let's invite, I'm not sure, Puan Azlin or Dr. Azlin? That appears on my screen, the name. Puan Azlin or Dr. Azlin? Okay, it's okay. What about Dr. Anis Shahida? Dr. Anis Shahida from FKJ. Dr. Anis, have you tried blended learning in your classroom teaching and learning approach? Okay, let's change to Dr. Izzah just now, maybe. What about Dr. Bell, Dr. Belinda? Dr. Belinda, have you tried blended learning, and what is the most moments if you have tried that before?
Good morning, Prof.
Morning.
For me, I think inadequate training.
Inadequate training in order to conduct or to set up
Conduct
blended
the
learning.
classes, yeah, to make it more interesting for the students, because at times I feel the students are more advanced than the lecturers.
So true, so true. Just
So,
look at their mobile phones. Yeah.
I could come up with a technology which I feel like, I'm so well versed and it's new, and I go so prepared for class, but when I enter class for the students, it's like, oh, this is done and done with. What is new? So it just jams your brain at that particular moment.
Yeah, I do feel that if, let's say, the students are not interested because they are very familiar with it, we thought
Yes.
that it is their first time. Yeah, so that is one of the worst moments that you can actually experience when you do blended learning. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Bell, for that insight. Let's invite for worst moments, sharing of worst moments, blending your class, Encik Dini Ashraf. Encik Dini. Okay. Perhaps one more, Dr. Azuraida. Dr. Azuraida. Okay, we are having some issues here, no problem. What about wait. Okay, Dr. Erdawati. Dr. Erdawati. Have you ever had worst moments when blending your classes?
Okay. Good morning, Prof.
Morning.
I would say that the worst moments when it comes to blended learning, based on my experience, is when the students can get slightly carried away when, as what we have established before this, that the fact that the students are much more ada yang lagi advanced and more in tune with technology, right? So
Yes.
when we incorporate the use of technology and then we ask them to go to all these different websites, for example, or using AI tools, for example, they tend to get a little bit too carried away, and we as the instructor, I find it sometimes I find it a little bit hard to re-engage them with the lessons that I have planned for them.
Yes, very true. Sometimes they get carried away and we also get carried away with whatever
Yes.
that we are doing. So
True,
like,
Prof.
I
Yes.
think that is normal, because when we feel so excited about something, then you tend to do that. All right, so let's move on to this next part of our sharing session, advantages. Some of these have been mentioned just now by our friends, and for example, we have more active learning. When you do blended learning, students are actually encouraged to do activities. They have to speak, they have to go here, go there in order to get the data or the information that they require. So active learning, more, and then 5 times higher learning engagement. So when students speak, they tend to remember more rather than keep quiet trying to remember what is it that they are learning. So 5 times higher in terms of engagement, learning engagement, and easier personalization. Now in our university, we do not group our students according to, say, A student, B student, C students. We group them according to their academic programs. So because of this, in our class, we will receive, for example, 50% students who are very good, and then 20 students average, and the rest can be very, very challenging for us to actually face them. So basically, with blended learning, you can personalize, you can prepare activities or materials according to their needs. And to respond to this tree, 70% students they become independent learners. So we have more independent learning happening simply because we have the materials or the whatever that they need to refer to online. So they have to access all this before they can come to the classes, so that they'll be more engaged. And we have 85% more flexible learning. In fact, in one classroom, you can have 3 separate activities at the same time, catering to the level of competencies. So because of all this, we go to the disadvantages in terms of our understanding of how we should implement blended learning. So the questions that always ask, can it be used for all courses? Can it be used for mathematics? Can it be used for courses such as offered by AKP? Or can it be used for courses like for FKJ? So all this actually, according to the name itself, for example, you have Amali or tutorial. So all those, it's already stated. Amali, so you have to go to the lab. Tutorial, you have to answer questions and have discussions with your tutors. So for all courses that have some sort of classes, now we call it as kuliah or lectures. So that's the place where you have blended learning. So not in the Amali, not in the tutorial so much. Amali, of course, you have to do all these experiments and everything. But again, this blended learning can actually assist students in the tutorial as well as the Amali. And another question, how to implement? Always, most of us will ask, are these correct? Are the steps that I'm taking now to blend correct? So how to implement? And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, friends, sahabat-sahabat sekalian, time and effort. No jokes about time and effort that you have to put in order to implement blended learning. Why? Remember just now, we said about having materials for different levels of competencies of our students. So all this, preparing this, takes time. And of course, you have to put effort. You have to identify, like, okay, this is for this group of students. Okay, this one here is for another group of students. So it takes, for me personally, it takes like 5 semesters to really establish a solid, I would say, solid materials or videos or whatever to be used for my student. So 5 semesters, 2.5 years. And I've been using this, been doing this for 12 years. So 2.5 years just to establish. But again, time changes a lot of things. So you have to keep updating. So of course, time and effort. So personally for me, all these questions, especially the time and effort, it can be a disadvantage for academics to use blended learning. Okay, now, should we? So this is the questions that we want to answer today. Should we venture into blended learning or should we not? So basically, if let's say you want to venture into blended learning, you are actually giving the students and yourself the options for teaching and learning. This is very, very important because us as educators or academics and them as students will experience a different environment when you talk about blended learning. There's many combination and mixtures that you can use for your blended learning. So all this will actually enrich your experience. And if let's say you are not into blended learning, are you actually thinking about the students' grades? Can blended learning improve or no change or decrease the students' grades? Because at the end of the day, our concern is whether the students are able to get what they are supposed to be getting. So when you feel that, okay, I want to do blended learning, you have to remember, okay, what are the steps that I want to do? So at the end of the day, students, the grade must be improved, should be improved actually. So these are the things that you can consider when you want to venture into blended learning. Or if you feel that, okay, I want to blend but not in all sessions or slots that I have, that is also possible, depending on perhaps the topics of the day, or perhaps on the situation of the day. Because sometimes like when we had the MCO, PKP, so we have to do online classes. So there are several considerations when you want to do online classes where you cannot meet at all. So it's no longer blended, it becomes almost online, total online. Okay, now my closing remarks, as I said, which will include my personal experience, sharing of my personal experience. So before that, the processes. We must always remember that teaching and learning, it is a two-way process. It's not just you giving to students, it's also you receiving from students. Educators learn too, academics learn too. For example, we learn, as Dr. Brenda said just now, sometimes it is frustrating that we thought whatever that we plan is good enough for our students, but then again students have already done that or gone through that. So we learn. Heartbreaks normal in our situation, in our profession. However, we learn something, we do learn something. So maybe we can choose something else as the platform or as the tools in order to teach. And of course, the students gets to explore as well as experience learning differently. And always remember, friends, sahabat-sahabat semua, always remember that no one approach fits all students that we have. So for me personally, a mixed method or mixed approaches, whatever that's suitable for that day, just go and do it. So no one fits all. As educators, I believe that we have to be able to adapt to situations. Sometimes we never expected that maybe we have 20 students in our class, but that day half of the class went missing, for example. So sometimes you have to change your activities accordingly, or sometimes you have to abandon something and do something else because the number of students required not enough. So all this, I believe that as experienced educators, all of you are able to do this accordingly. Now, this one, I'm not sure whether you have seen this before, but okay. So this one here, blended learning, there's 4 models. We have rotation model, we have flex model, and we have self-blend model and enriched virtual model. And under rotation model, we have station rotation model, lab rotation model, flipped classroom model, individual rotation model. So let's see what I have actually used for the past 12 years. So I chose, and still choosing, flipped classroom under rotation model. Basically, I have no lectures, only activities to enhance whatever that I have uploaded online. So basically, what are the steps that I actually take? First, upload relevant materials on our learning management system. We have Alpha T e-learning portal, or you can also use MS Teams, our MS Teams, because we have files where we can upload and ask students to do assignments and all. And then, this is very critical. The idea of flipped classroom is that students must come prepared to engage with the lessons of the day. So always remember to upload your materials like 2-3 days earlier before the class. For example, normally I have like 2 hours for 4 credit course. So let's say the last 2 hours classes, they are on, say, Wednesday. So the latest that I will upload new materials for next week's lessons would be Thursday morning. So students have, say, Thursday afternoon, Friday, Saturday and Sunday to actually access the materials that I have uploaded online. Then, this is also very critical. On Sundays, every Sunday actually, I will actually WhatsApp the students giving the outline of the activities for the coming week. So basically, students should be prepared. They know what to happen tomorrow. For example, let's say today is Sunday, I WhatsApp them. So they know what is going to happen tomorrow, the kind of activities, the kind of materials that they need to refer to. Next, and during these face-to-face sessions, we ask questions or let the student ask. Normally, what I do, first, I ask questions about last week's lesson, just to recap. And then, I ask questions about this week's lessons. And if there is no question asked, students can also ask if they are not sure of any materials that they read or a video that they watch. So they can also ask. So this will take around, say, 10 to 15 minutes of sharing, asking and answering questions. And then we go into the activities. So these activities can be a very long activity, 1.5 hour activities, and I will share with all of you what I did, yeah. And then, or it can be like 3 activities, shorter, and a little bit longer. So this can be individual or pair work or smaller groups work. And after all activities are complete, we have a summary session. We reflect on whatever that we did, or if there are questions from the students, this is where we entertain them, clarify or re-explain certain concepts. And let's say my the second last class is on Wednesday. Before I upload the new materials for next week, I will have this video clip, a video clip as a revision note. This video clip is under 1 minute, under 60 seconds most of the time. So this will recap the lessons of the week. So basically, we have here materials, and here also, when we do searching, when we do, trying to filter materials, this can take time actually, especially if we have weaker students. And here I also share on Sundays, I also share what I call as video lecture slides. I will share as well the difference between what I upload here and what I actually share on Sundays. Now allow me to share one of these, but I tried just now, it's not functioning, so I need to stop sharing and share again the video. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, let's see. So share. Okay, so for example, this one. Okay, so this is the video lecture slide. This slide will appear or will be given, will be shared on Sundays. This kind of slides, where this is the normal lecture slides, but here I actually add explanation, not just voiceover, because I appear live here and record this, and of course students get to see the face. So for example, I'm just going to share. This is my way of blending. You have to maintain. So these are the activities. Individual, we have group. This is bigger groups. This is actually by groups, but one by one.
Only when highest in one
This is
spot.
individual.
Respect to
And this is the short clip that I said just now.
about it.
Okay.
In the context of
So let's see one more. This one here. Sound. Okay. This is a very this one It's a very long process of actually designing and developing what I call as walk WTW, an approach. So take a few minutes here, a few minutes. So this is what happened. Work the walk WTW.
We must do this work with fundamental optimism and gratitude. Okay, macam ni, tangga ni namakan macam work. Setiap manusia perlu macam berkebun.
It's a transformative experience. So, real social change ni kita orang amalkan from baby, lepas tu jadi budak, graduate dan dia bekerja. Prophet Muhammad. It is Sunni. It's from the word Sunnah, referring to the behavior of the Islamic Prophet of Muhammad. Okay. It is the largest branch of the Muslim community, around 87 to 90% works Muslim. Okay. So it is guided by four schools. Okay, so WTW is actually implemented, of course, using blended learning as well. Simply because students must be able to have some sort of background knowledge about something before they can group together and present as this. Okay, let me go back to the slides. Okay, here and here, share. Oops, wrong sharing, I believe. Sorry. Share. This one. Okay. So this one here. If we go back, okay, this one, done. So I'm going to show in terms of screenshots that I have. For example, when I said just now we have to upload our online materials, this is our Al-Fatih e-learning portal. So this is the same lectures for week 6. So in the portal that I have uploaded normally a week before, not a week before, like 4 days before the class. So it's just a normal one, just like slideshows. And then of course there are like reading materials here and there, pictures sometime, or sometimes videos related to the lessons of the day. And then this is just a screenshot of the information on Sundays that I will tell them what is happening and all, what to do. And then here, this one here, okay, sorry, I need to show this there's a pointer. Okay, this one, LMS, Learning Management System, Al-Fatih. This one is the messages on Sundays. This one here, video lecture slides week 6. This one. This is where I have a different approach from this one. This is where I have the explanation, the voice explanation, as well as myself appearing in the video. And next is actually this one, the activities, one of the activities, individual activities. And this one is very rare for the students to take photographs of me, but this one I was actually summarizing whatever that we did for the past 2 hours. And this is the short video clip. Nothing fancy about this, no voice, just text, a little bit of information here and there, especially on the critical concepts. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends, sahabat-sahabat, that's it for our sharing session. So I welcome questions. Please feel free to ask questions, and I'm happy to be able to share whatever that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. So we welcome anyone to ask questions. Anyone have any question? Just now I saw Dr. Belinda. Yes.
Oh, okay.
You may ask your question.
Prof, my question is, sometimes when you have online interaction, right?
Yeah.
Even though you've already given the materials to the students to work on it and stuff, but on the actual day, there is pin drop silence. No questions, nothing. No matter how much you try to engage them, you're practically, speaking to a blank wall. How do you overcome that?
Okay. We may have different experience on this one. It's okay. Basically, let's say the students already, access whatever materials. So we say, okay, any questions? Of course, there will be silence. But when we say, okay, I will ask question, then suddenly, ma'am, I don't understand. So I would say that it's not a trick, but maybe one of the strategies in order to engage them. Now, if let's say, no questions asked, nothing at all. And when you ask questions, they are able to answer. So we always assume that when everybody says, okay, we are okay, or when one or two manage to answer questions well, then normally I will assume that, okay, everybody understands this. So what happens is that during the activities, those who actually do not understand at all will not be able to do or to participate. So then you can actually stop them and ask them directly. Because let's say our class is normally between 31 to 35 members or students. So when you group them, let's say 7 groups, 5, 5, 5, if for 35. So one member or 2 members maybe in one particular smaller group will just, keep silent or not doing anything. This is where you come and approach and ask, do you understand? Or do you need time in order to complete the task? Because normally at the end of the day, when I'm using WTW, all of them will have to participate, all of them will have to say something, all of them to have to maybe role play or do seminar or do debates and whatnot. So they must be able to understand. If let's say you find that 1 or 2 are not responding simply because that maybe they forget to access the materials, or maybe they feel that, oh, it's okay, we have good students who can actually help me or back me up, then they are wrong. Everybody must take responsibility. So Dr. Bell and the rest of us today, perhaps we have to change a little bit. We have to be more observant in terms of the students' concentration during class. If let's say they are lost, quickly ask them, are they okay? Perhaps sometimes my students are not feeling well, they're also not responding well. So yeah, Dr. Bell, does that answer the question?
Yes, Prof. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, Prof. There's a question from the chat, so I'll read
sorry.
it for you. Okay, it says here, Prof, you said that you take a long way to prepare the content for blended learning. How long do you think to prepare content of the subject for ODL? Is it the same?
It is much more challenging to prepare materials for ODL. Okay, open distance learning, when the name open and it's distance, you are not able to have physical contact with them. You don't get to see them physically. It's even more challenging, especially you for, let's say you first meet them online today for this ODL, but before that you have to prepare the materials, you have to upload everything online. So that one itself, sometimes we just put our lecture slides. The lecture slides is very dry normally because it just words here and there, and then maybe you attach videos or maybe you attach reading text, a few reading materials for the students to understand. How can you ensure that the students access all those? Now, our learning management system, we have some sort of we have the not the insight, they call it something else, but you will be able to know whether the students have access or have participated on whatever materials that you uploaded. So I'm not sure for ODL. I assume that we are using still maybe perhaps MS Teams or our e-learning management system, but it's going to be more challenging. First we need to know the ODL is for adult learners, working adults who want to pursue their studies, or just like our normal students after SPM, they join our program. So we need to know that ODL, the audience, we need to know who are the people taking our courses. Then we have to prepare accordingly. For adult learners, it's very challenging. They are not going to respond to just slides. They are not going to read it. Let's say we prepare notes like a summary. Let's say we have a reading material and then we prepare the summary for them. Even then, they are not going to read it. So for adult learners, they need more real touch, like more engagement. So yeah, it's very challenging. How long? It depends on how long should we have these materials, and to make these materials stabilize, that one actually depends on I would say the difficulties of that particular course that we are teaching. For theories, it can be maybe between 2 years, but for calculation kind of course, it can be more than that, because you have to prepare sets of exercises according to whatever topic. So this one by Shahanim, Dr. Shahanim, Professor Madia, Dr. Shahanim. So the question is, content, is it the same? Not the same in terms of content, of course, but the struggle or the processes that we have to go through for this as well as ODL, the same. Yes, but the timing depending on the, as I said, the audience, the students taking the course. Okay, we also have okay, don't have my, sorry, okay, this is, I think, Dr. Azlin. I use Edpuzzle. Very good. Edpuzzle is actually for lecture as well as for quizzes. Our lecture video can be inserted, yes, into the app, and multiple choice question can be included at certain video frame in purpose to boost students' understanding. My best moments. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Azlin. Thank you very much for sharing. Yes, similar to Puan Dr. Emily and Puan Marzia just now, the best moment is when the students actually have the sparks in their eyes. When we say, okay, this is this, and then suddenly they say, oh ma'am, it's this. The sparks. That is, I believe, the best moment. That means the student understand what we are trying to share with them. Okay, oh Dini, Encik Dini, maaf Prof, saya masih mencuba. Okay, tak apa, microphone. My worst moment is like this exact moment. When somehow I'm lost in using technology, thus interrupting the teaching learning flow. Okay, during MCO, masa PKP, right? That was March 2020.
we started that, and in UPNM, that was the 5th week of the second semester of 2019-2022 academic session. So I remember MS Teams was not yet purchased by the university. So when the student went back, so the instruction was, okay, we have to teach. We can use Google Classroom or whatever. So I remember I asked the students, so what do you have at home? Of course, some of them say that, oh, there's only one PC, ma'am, no laptop, internet access is like, not stable, or whatever. Then for the first 5 weeks, that means from week 6 until week 10, I just use WhatsApp. The voice note, the typing and everything. So it was very tiring, simply because we don't have, I would say, proper facilities. And then when we have MS Teams, another challenge. Ma'am, I don't have data. I don't have internet data. So, yeah. So this, Encik Dini, I understand, not a problem. Technology is good, but if it's not working, then it's not good at all. So better, have physical and all. Okay, so next one. Okay, that's it. So that's 4 questions. Any other questions? Feel free if you have questions. Maybe because we don't have enough time today, you can just email me. Or if you want to have a look at because I actually record everything that I do in class, but not the whole class, just a few. The reason why I did that is actually for audit purpose. Sometimes we never know, MQA may be asking, are you sure that you did this particular activity? So any proof? So that's why I have recording as well as pictures. So if anybody feel that, okay, nak tengok ke apa, just WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, email me, then I'll be happy to share.
Okay, is there any other questions from the audience? I have one question, Prof.
Okay, sure.
From your experience, are there any group of students who are more receptive towards blended learning compared to some groups, or are all the students very receptive towards blended learning?
I would say that all students are very receptive actually. They are just following us. Let's say we give them a textbook, they will bring the textbook, they will use it. If we give them something else, they will just do it. As you said just now, the fact that students nowadays, what we call them as digital natives, okay? They are digital natives. They are very familiar with technology. And that's why, as Dr. Bell said just now, that sometimes we feel frustrated simply because they know more. It's okay not to know more than the students. It's okay to be lacking, the students, they say that, oh, I have this, I know that. Never mind. That's why I said we are also learning. If let's say they say, oh, I'm using this, then we go after the class, we go back to our room, quickly Google, what is it? Then we learn. If it's suitable, then we can use it. If not, then we can just abandon the idea. Not a problem. I do know that because we don't want to look bad or to look, excuse my language, to look stupid in front of the students. I do know that we do not want to be seen that way. However, we have to admit that our knowledge is limited to such areas. And if the students, because they are able to access the internet at a very early age, as early as maybe 2 years old. And for me, I started to know about internet when I was in my 2nd year of degree programs. So of course the gap, the generation gap, the understanding of technology is different between the youngsters, the young students that we have now, and ourselves.
for young educators like Encik Fahimi and maybe yourself, Puan Dr. Emily, Encik Shafiq, Dr. Fatul Wafi, all young people, I know that you have been exposed to the technology as early as maybe Form 4, maybe, I don't know, maybe earlier than that. So you are very familiar with all this. So when I grew up, we don't have Google. So yeah, so you can see that. So we have a Google generation. I'm adopting to Google generation, but for kids who actually were born like 15 years ago, they are Google kids, I would say. Yeah. Okay. Is that okay? I believe that students are very receptive because they will lead you. That's why we have students who are very quiet in the classroom. Most of them will be quiet. One or two will be very dominant. They like to be dominant because they know that the friends are not going to say anything. But we need to give opportunities for all to say something, not just that dominant students. Okay? Alright.
Yes, I agree. Okay, we have one more from the chat.
Okay.
Prof, do you mind sharing what was your personal best and most challenging moment with blended learning? Question from Puan Kadira and Puan Surin.
Okay. Remember, I started this like 12 years ago. So the first semester that I started this, the worst moment was like the students were not aware that I have uploaded materials. So they came to class like not empty-handed but empty mind as well, most of them, all of them. So I was like, so what to do, because they have no knowledge at that time. So I just say, okay, I'm giving you like 15 minutes to access whatever on Al-Fatih e-learning portal. Now those days when I started, there's no WhatsApp information on Sundays. No. When I first started, just upload, and then because I have informed earlier in, when we first met, first week, I said that please access materials weekly so that we can come here in our class, we can straight away go into activities. So for I think about 5 or 6 slots. The first slot, let's say today is the first slot, okay, just introduction. Introduce them to Al-Fatih e-learning portal, where to search for information and everything. The second slot, none actually access. So I give them, okay, 15 minutes. But I was very frustrated. You came in with the expectation that, everybody's like excited, like how you felt about being, in the classroom. And then the third slot, only 2 or 3 actually access, because you can check. The first time I did not check for the second slot because I assume. So my mistake is I assume. So I assume. So every day I will tell them, okay, so for tomorrow, make sure that you access this. So that happened for about, say 6-7 slots, 3 weeks, about 3 weeks. And then the last slot, some of them did not, the 7th slot, some of them did not access. I just walked out of the class and I did not come back. And they sent 2 representatives saying sorry and promised not to do it again. So that's the first semester I implemented blended learning. So that's the frustration. And that is my personal, my worst. And then of course my personal best, I think similar as all of you or most of you, the fact that when students, when they participated, they know what they are doing. Very important. If they actually access the materials, when they come to the classes, they participated and they know what's happening, that's the moment that I feel that Alhamdulillah, I have done something correct today, because students are able to engage. So walk around, please walk around, don't just let them do. Walk around and listen to their conversations, and you will realize that some of them will say, tak lah, cuba tengok yang ni, kan tak baca so benda-benda macam tu.
because normally I will prepare like 5 different types of materials. Lecture slides, that is compulsory, and then a video, and sometimes a graph or a picture, and then I have like some not graph, but it is from a website that I managed to use, and then one more like short quiz. So some of them, because maybe they don't have time, they just look for that video, for the lecture slides. But some of them who are, you know, maybe not having a lot of difficulties accessing that, so they just go into the videos, they read the material, so they have more in terms of the understanding, so they will share in that particular smaller group. Okay, so that's the best moment, when they have the spark in the eyes, or when they are able to engage, and when they are happy doing it, when they laugh. They still learn, but they are laughing, so that's very good for me. And then personal best and most challenging just now to get the students. So every semester I will have to say the same thing. So please, our materials are here, no lectures in our class, so materials here, please bring this into our class for the activities. But after 2-3 semesters, the journey becomes very easy, especially for students who are from our Asasi. Our Asasi students are exposed to our Al-Fatih Learning Portal, so they know, okay, this is where I can get the information. Okay, Puan Kadira and Puan Suri. Alright. So
Okay, thank you so much, bro.
okay.
Okay,
Welcome.
I think we have exceeded the time. It's already nearly 11:05 minutes. So, any other question? Any other last questions? Or Prof?
I'm okay. But let's say because we have friends from FKJ, from FPKP, from AKP, if let's say you have questions about how to implement blended learning in your areas, feel free to ask, not a problem. Yeah, because we have here from members from various faculties. So what I'm sharing, of course, is about social sciences. Jom buat face-to-face one day session. Boleh! Lagi
Yes,
senang
I
sebenarnya.
agree.
Lagi senang supaya betul, lagi senang sebab boleh tunjuk betul-betul macam mana we do it in the classroom. Macam sekarang ni hanya pakai videos kan, so tak nampak semua angle. Kan? Tapi itu kena tanya CTL lah. Right. So macam saya cakap tadi, kalau perlukan apa-apa bantuan ataupun nak bertanya apa-apa, boleh je bertanya kepada saya. I'll be happy to help, not a problem. So with that, thank you very much for your time, and thank you once again. Thank you to CTL for organising this. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Prof, and thank you so much, CTL, for organising this webinar. So, I think myself and also the audience would like to request if we could have a face-to-face session, maybe, because a very